after that first ride, things went downhill fast. And she just told me all the things that I already suspected.
When this news came to me, I was absolutely crushed.
And she recommended that we discontinue the training program.
They're not going to get a lot of other chances. It's very unlikely. I know in my heart that I'm promising to get him where he needs to go. It really is my commitment and my responsibility to see it through with this guy.
Defensive, and he started charging and coming at me.
When push came to shove, I realized that I do this for the horses, not just for the competition. From mild to mild, so they have the best chance at having a good life. And as a trainer who deals with these horses that are supposedly kind of untrainable, or at least used to be thought that way, if you return them, they're not going to get a lot of other chances.
Okay, so as you've gathered at this point, Promise's journey hasn't been exactly what I'd hoped for or planned for. Yeah, so when I first got him, we just kind of thought that he had some mild overgrown feet. When we brought him home, at least that's what we hoped for. And I decided to commit to getting him through that. I couldn't have a vet out to look at him until I could get him trained enough to have that done. So I really focused on that, and I started to really notice some issues after I got that first ride on him, because his feet were he was pretty okay about having his feet handled at that point, but he wasn't safe enough for me to bring out my vet and have her look at him, because I always like to make sure my Mustangs are in really good shape before I get the vet out there and put them in danger by having them handle them as well. I like it to keep it to myself until their ground manners are very much cleared up and they're confident around people, because taking brand new people in there and stabbing them with needles doesn't usually end well if they're already scared of people to start with. So I continued Promise's training. As you've seen in the last videos, I've got him vaguely leading. I've got him saddled, I've got him ridden. He's doing great with that, and he's getting better with people, but he's been really defensive about his feet and legs. So we conquered that the next step, and as you've probably seen, we've dealt with some of that. But after that first ride, things went downhill fast. He was doing so well, we were moving so fast, but after that first ride, that next day, he was really crabby and fractious, very aggressive. I went in to get his feet moving and immediately wanted nothing to do with it. I tried to push him through it, and he started getting extremely defensive, and he started charging and coming at me. And my initial automatic trained instinct is to go back at him, because I can't just run from a horse that's charging at me, or I'm going to teach the horse to charge. So I got him to the best stopping point I could, and then I backed off, and I took a break, and I took a step back, and I watched the videos, and I tried to figure out what was triggering him. I came to realize that he is, as I watched my videos from my previous ride the previous night, and then the beginning of the session I'd been working on, it was all linked to traveling to the right. And that's where that leg is, that deformed leg. And it's going to be more than a simple pigeon toe. And I got myself all worked up and trying to figure out what to do with him, because my pickup window was still open at this point. I had like 2 or 3 days left. I could zip up to Ewing and dump him back in that holding pen and grab another Mustang and start my contest over. I'd be like 2 or 3 weeks behind, but I mean, I could overcome that easy. I could overcome it. Wouldn't be easy, but neither is dealing with a lame horse. I can probably be quoted saying that there is nothing more frustrating to me than trying to train a horse that keeps having soundness issues. It's just, I'm not a vet, I can't fix it, and I like to be able to fix things. I like to try to help the horses the best I can and fix all their problems. And I can't fix the physical issues. So I got myself worked up and worried and trying to think through what I was going to do with him, but I didn't know what was wrong with him. So I came to the realization that I needed to get a vet out and have the vet look at him and give me a professional opinion. In order to do that, I did have to get him over that new anger and aggression that he developed. So in order to get him over that new anger and aggression, so that first time back in the pen, I had spent 2 or 3 sessions on trying to overcome this newfound aggression, the charging, and he just kept getting more aggressive, and he'd get real close to me, and the closer he got, the braver he got, and the more pressure I put on him, the harder he came back towards me. So no matter how hard I pushed, he just pushed back twice as hard, and I wasn't going to win this fight. And so that was challenging, because you're going into a situation where you know you're putting yourself in physical danger to help a horse that really doesn't want to be helped. But you have to, because he's in pain and somebody has to help him. So I went in there, even though I'd been trying to do everything the real gentle way, I just went straight in the pen, didn't even give him a chance to think about it, and I just chased him. And I just round pinned him for a long time. I just made him run. Got him hyped up enough that he went, and I didn't give him the option to stick around and get too close to me. I just got in there and got him moving before he had a chance to think about it. And then as soon as he started moving, I left the pen. I didn't nothing. I just left the pen. Hopped right under the fence. And I let him think about that for a while. And then I went and did that again the next day. And this time I actually brought him in and stopped him, let him join up. I let him think about it for a minute, and then I left the pen again, and I just let him think about it. After I did that for a few sessions, I started working back on doing it, working within his thresholds, so I wasn't having him in a spook, but I'd really gotten that forward motion worked back into him. And he immediately started developing the issue again. And I began to realize that it was, again, linked to that right traveling direction. And I was able to work him at the walk on the lunge line a lot more, teaching him to send off into the walk instead of sending him off into the trot, and the problem disappeared. So it was definitely pain linked, because as soon as I stopped having him work hard, the problem disappeared, and I still taught him to lope off and trot off of my voice command, so he did it, but I wasn't making him to hold it for a timed amount of time like I normally would for conditioning work. So then I started working on his feet, and he got kind of aggressive with that. He would try to reach around and bite and then jump back, and then if you tried to come onto that side, he'd come towards you. But again, I worked him down from that. And I finally got him where the vet could come out and look at him. The vet did not even have to step in and examine him. Just from seeing him track, she could see what was going on. She knew he's too old to fix it. And she just told me all the things that I already suspected. And she recommended that we discontinue the training program and set him back to wherever he needs to go, because he's not going to be rideable because of his leg. My fear is that because of his age, his leg is already this bad, and any training in it immediately gets worse. He gets sore, and he gets fractious, he gets cranky. So he definitely doesn't hold up to even the basic groundwork really all that well. We're still pushing him and making him do it just so that he's safe enough to be treated, because in order to continue living, he does have to be able to be treated. So now I've been doing my best. I need him to be able to walk on the lead rope and have his feet handled so that he can find a home where he can be maintained and allowed to live out the last couple of years of his young life in peace. He is so happy when he gets to go out in the field, and he runs around, he trips and falls. He's very unstable, but he just jumps back up and keeps going. He's so happy-go-lucky and full of life, and I just can't take that away from him. But his days are numbered. And if I had the land and the ability to keep him and maintain him, I would do that so that he could live out another year or two before he does eventually probably have to be put down, because his life will get too painful for him. So he's going to have to go somewhere where someone's going to be willing to make that decision when the time comes, but will be willing to gift him these last few months, few years of happiness that he deserves. Because he is not ready to go out yet. I hate this. I hate this making this decision. I hate that it just sucks. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm just trying to do the best thing by this horse. If I thought the best thing for him to do for him would be to put him down on the spot, I would do it. I wouldn't hesitate. But I don't believe that's the best thing for him at this point. So I'm going to try to make the best decision I can for him. I'm going to do what's best by him and try to do the right thing. And everyone has different opinions on that. But I'm just going to make the decision that I think is best for him. I'm not going to be selfish and put him down just because it's more convenient and makes me feel better about myself for putting him out of his misery or whatever, because he's not ready for that quite yet. But he is going to be on that path at some point.